my mobile data, and I hope your like screen sharing and everything is working fine, right? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So let us do one example, slightly different one. So in the previous session, let us go back to our joins. Let me remove this. In the previous session, we did a question where we were to find the manager of each employee. Do you remember which type of join we used for this?
Self join.
Self join. Right now, we can do the same using a correlated subquery. Okay, so how we can do this with a correlated subquery? What I will basically do is, I will first of all select employee name from the table, and I will compare him with the manager. So let me write the query and then explain it to you. So I will select employee name, comma, I will select employee name, okay, from employees as E2, where E1 dot manager ID is equal to E2 dot employee ID as manager name from employees as E1. Instead of as, you can just write employees E1 also, it will work fine. But let us first understand what all I did here. See, we are getting the manager name, but let us first do a select star from employees. Let me create a gap here. This is the table, right? This is the subquery. And what I'm doing here is I am selecting first of all employee name, and then the second column I am selecting using a subquery. Okay. Now how this works, let me show you. So select employee name, employee Elise, Bob, Charlie, and David. Right? Elise, Bob, Charlie, and David. This is clear to you. Select employee name. Just selecting the employee name from the employees E1. What is E1 and what is E2 here? These are copy of the same table. Copy of the same table. So I, just like in self join, I created E1, E2. Similar thing I have done here using alias. So this is E1, this is E2. Right? Exactly same tables, just different names. So I am selecting employee name as manager name from employees as E1. ठीक है, E1 से employee name as manager name उठा लिया. Clear? Sorry, no no no. E1 से सिर्फ employee name उठाया है, दूसरा as manager name E2 से उठाया, right? So select employee name from E1. This is clear, I think. इसमें तो कोई doubt नहीं होगा. No doubt in this. Just selecting the employee names as it is. Elise, Bob, Charlie, and David. It is clear what we are doing with E1. Okay, I hope it is. ठीक है. Let me tell you again. Okay, someone is saying yes finally. So we have to find manager of each employee. In this table, we have the manager ID, we have the employee name. We will again, as we did in the self join, compare manager ID with employee ID, and we will use a subquery instead of a self join. So select employee name from employees as E1. ठीक है, so E1 से as it is employee name हमने pick up कर लिया. Now what we have to do? We have to select the manager name. Right? We have to select the manager name, which we will select from the E2. How we will select? We will write select employee name from employees. Here also we are selecting the employee names, right? but with the alias of manager name. So first, let me write here. First, I will get Alice, Bob, David, Charlie. ये तो I selected names from E1. ठीक है. Now from E2, I am selecting employee name as manager name, but with a catch where E1 dot manager ID, E1 dot manager ID, which means here E1 dot manager ID is equal to E2 dot employee ID, E2 dot employee ID. So we are comparing this manager ID to this employee ID in E2 because this is having the manager name. So Alice has null, there is no null, so no manager. Bob has one, here one is employee name, select employee name. So employee name is Alice, so Bob will get Alice. Similarly, one again, Charlie के लिए भी one है, so we will get back here one Alice. So again, David will get, sorry, Charlie will get Alice, and David has two, so David two, David will get Bob. This is the idea behind the subquery. I will write it here. I will get C. Bob Alice, Charlie Alice, David Bob. Okay. So what I've done here, I will explain again. This whole part is just me selecting a column using a subquery where I'm comparing manager ID of E1 to employee ID of E2. Okay, it is similar to the self join, but here we are doing it with a subquery. So I hope it is clear to you. Even if not, don't panic. You can practice it again. It would be more clear to you. एक बार self join से करना, फिर ये करना. You will understand what we are doing here. As of now, try this. इसको run करो. Let me know if it is running or not in your joins database, and try to understand what we are doing here. एक बार select, just go through what we have done in self join and go through this. You will understand what is the idea behind this. So do this, and to make it a little bit more lighter, I will give you a question of correlated subquery, which is slightly less complicated. So you have to find the number of employees in each department. Okay. So how many people do we have in each department? HR में 1, 102, I think engineering में 2 and marketing में 0. So you have to do this question and let me know if you are done with this. ये एक बार try करो, फिर भी नहीं समझ आया तो do ask me. हो सकता है ये नहीं समझ आया, maybe you did not understand this clearly. So if you don't, ask me, sir, what is this, why we are doing this. I will explain you again, and do this question by yourself. I will give you 10 minutes to do this question. Take a break, take a sip of water, take 2 minutes break, and then try correlated subquery again. It might be slightly complicated initially, but you will get it when you practice. Okay, so take 10-12 minutes, do this question, copy paste, run it, try this question on your. इस क्वेश्चन में भी अगर कोई चीज समझ नहीं आ रही है, सर व्हाट टू डू इन द सब क्वेरी, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वी आर सपोज टू डू, जस्ट आस्क मी, आई विल गिव यू हिंट्स. ओके, सो इसमें भी सेम कॉन्सेप्ट होगा. यू विल हैव टू सेलेक्ट द डिपार्टमेंट नेम, देन यू हैव टू यूज अनदर क्वेरी टू गेट द काउंट ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज as the count of employees, and you have to then get the department table. So I hope this is clear to you, at least the idea behind it, the logic behind it. So let me know when you're done with this, and if you want the solution for this question, I will give you 10 minutes. So we will resume at 9:30. If you have any doubt, I'm here in the session, please ask.
Can you please explain that coordinated subquery concept again? I'm not getting it clearly.
Okay. This question or the concept?
Concept.
Okay. So let us go back here. Let us go back here. And I ask you, I want to get the name of the students who are scoring more than the average of their class. So how do you think we can tackle this problem?
By getting average of a class.
Yes. So basically, if I were to ask you complete, you could ask either get the complete thing, but to get the average of the class, okay, to get the average of the class, first you need to know which class does the student belong to, right? So inner subquery क्या कर रही है? It is giving you the average score, right? This is my inner subquery that gives me the average score. Now this is independent of class. अगर class mentioned नहीं है तो, but if I say that I want to get the average of a particular class, कौन सी class नहीं पता. It depends on the outer subquery. Outer subquery क्या कहती है? Select name, class and score. So outer subquery will select a name, let us say Elise. Then we will calculate the average score of the class that Alice belongs to. That is why there is a dependency. Outer subquery will tell us what is the name and what is the class. Then only we can calculate the average score of his or her class. That is why it is a correlated subquery, because this inner subquery is dependent on the outer subquery to calculate the average, to calculate the maximum value. This is example of a correlated subquery. ठीक है, यहाँ पे जैसे ये सिंटैक्स है, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन दिस टू यू हाउ इट इज एग्जैक्टली वर्किंग. सेलेक्ट नेम क्लास स्कोर फ्रॉम स्टूडेंट S1 वेयर स्कोर इज ग्रेटर देन सेलेक्ट एवरेज स्कोर. ठीक है, टिल हियर इट इज वेरी सिंपल. दिस इज व्हाट वी वुड नॉर्मली डू, एंड दिस इज द नॉर्मल सब क्वेरी, नो कोरिलेशन.
Yes.
दिस इज क्लियर टू यू? नेम क्लास स्कोर फ्रॉम स्टूडेंट वेयर स्कोर इज ग्रेटर देन एवरेज स्कोर. फाइन.
Yes.
Now there is a catch. The catch is that average score of who? So let us go by the first case. First case we get Alice. So what we do? We find the class, then we find the average, right? So for this we have to create some logic and we create two different tables. ठीक है, सेम टेबल का एक कॉपी बना लिया S1, एक कॉपी बना लिया S2. We created two copies of the same table.
Yeah.
Then what we are doing? The outer table S1 will select the name, class and score. Okay, it will select the name, class and score. So it will select, let us say Bob 10A and score is 78, right?
Okay.
Then what will happen? From student S2, the second table, I will compare the class. So S1 Bob has class 10A. So I will find the average score where the class is 10A. So I will find the average score here. And then I will say if Bob is there or not. So what happens in SQL exactly is, let me clear everything. The outer subquery will select all the names, right? When you write select name from employees, it will select all the names. ये 8 names select कर लिए. Now in this 8 names, the inner subquery have to run for each one of them. सबसे पहले Alice की क्लास कंपेयर करेंगे, Alice की क्लास का एवरेज निकालेंगे. इफ इट इज हायर तो आउटपुट में Alice आएगा, अदरवाइज Alice नहीं आएगा. सेम विद बॉब. ठीक है, आउटर क्वेरी ने तो एक बार में सारे सेलेक्ट कर लिए, इनर क्वेरी विल कंपेयर देम वन बाय वन. फॉर बॉब कंपेयर करेंगे क्लास 10A का एवरेज निकालेंगे, ज्यादा है तो आएगा, नहीं तो नहीं आएगा. सेम इज द केस विद ईच एंड एवरी रो. ठीक है, आउटर सब क्वेरी में लेट अस से एमा इज आल्सो देयर. सो एमा का क्लास कंपेयर करेंगे 10B का एवरेज निकालेंगे. अगर ग्रेटर है तो एमा वुड बी द आउटपुट, एल्स एमा वुड नॉट बी द आउटपुट. दैट इज द लॉजिक. And to compare with every class, we have to do S1 dot class is equal to S2 dot class. S1 क्या है? आउटर टेबल जिसमें सारे नेम हमने उठा लिए. S2 क्या है? एग्जैक्ट कॉपी ऑफ द टेबल जहां पे हम एवरेज कैलकुलेट करेंगे बाय कंपेयरिंग द क्लास. Okay, this is the idea behind a correlated subquery. I hope slightly more clear now.
Yes.
Okay, so within questions we will understand कि कैसे हो रहा है. Initially it is slightly complicated. Okay, because it is, when we are fetching things within the same table, and ये जो copy का concept है ना, we are creating two copies of the same table. A lot of students get confused. जैसे यहाँ पर भी है, right? Because we have a single employee name table, and we have to use this as manager name also, employee name also. That is why the confusion. But mostly in correlated subqueries, in self join, we create copy of the table to compare within themselves, because here I have to compare manager ID with the employee ID. So joins and subqueries में क्या होता है, there are different tables, but if I have to do it within the table, I will create two copy, E1 and E2. Okay, and then I will get employee name, outer query as it is, inner query, this thing will see Alice का manager ID null है, तो E2 में employee ID null किसका है, किसी का भी नहीं है, so no manager. बॉब का मैनेजर आईडी 1 है E1 में, तो बॉब एज इट इज आ गया. अब उसमें एम्प्लॉय आईडी 2 किस सॉरी एम्प्लॉय आईडी 1 किसका है, एलिस का, सो बॉब का मैनेजर एलिस आ गया. दैट इज व्हाट वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू हियर. Okay, Shweta has written, I think, select department solution to this. Let me see if it is working. And she has written it in a single value. So let me select department name. Okay, from departments, and we have where just a second. So you're selecting department name, just to make it right, and select count star from employees, where employees dot department ID is equal to department or department ID. It is departments here. And here also we will go to department ID. I think the solution is correct only. Let us run this and see what we are getting. HR1 engineering to marketing level. So this is very good, Shweta. I think you have done great here, right? So what we are doing, department name as it is select कर लिया. Employee count के लिए we will select count star from employees, where employees dot department ID is equal to department dot department ID as employee count from departments. सबसे पहले क्या होगा, it will select the department name. Let me write here, select star from departments. ठीक है, सबसे पहले क्या होगा, it will first of all it will get the department name. Department name HR. Now for HR, this query will run where employees ID HR का जो है that is equal to department. So HR का I think it is 101. It will compare to 101 and it will count the employees as employee count. Similarly, second row department name engineering के लिए फिर से रन करेगी, फिर outer row marketing के लिए फिर से रन करेगी, and it will count for each of them, and finally it will give the employee count of all three departments. So I'm copy pasting the solution as shared by her in the chat box. If you want to write, you can write. Okay, so let me know when you are done. We will do 2 more questions on subqueries, but with the Northwind dataset this time. Okay, so I'm giving you 3 more minutes till 9:32 to run this, run both of them. Still, if you have any doubt, any questions, please ask. Okay. Well, I will give a simple question here. So there are 2 questions in this that I want to solve. First is retrieve a list of products retrieve a list of products whose unit price is above the average unit price, and second is to retrieve, ठीक है, सेकंड इज ऑल्सो एग्जैक्टली सेम क्वेश्चन बट विद द कैच. यहां पर हम लोग क्या करेंगे, हियर वी विल डू a correlated subquery by adding a condition that price is above average unit price of their category. Okay, so these two questions we will solve in Northwind, but you don't need to solve them now. You can try them only if you are done with these two. Okay, once you are done with these two, let me know in the chat box, so I will solve these two questions for you. And any doubts, anything? Okay, so those who are done with these two, ये वाला question करो, send me the solution to this question, and then I will tell you how this will work in a correlated subquery. This is very simple, simple multi-row subquery है, ये solve करो, share the solution, and then I will help you out with the correlated subquery. Okay, so are you guys trying this one? Okay, so Shweta again has shared this solution, but I will wait for others also to solve this. And once you're done with it, just let me know, and we will do the correlated part of the subquery also. Okay, done. Good. Others? Nilesh is also done. Others have done this. Let me change the database to Northwind. Run this and get the products with the average unit price. Right? What is the average price? It is 28, and all the products that are more expensive than 28 we can see here, right? So I will wait for 2 to 3 minutes before starting this. So it is 9:35. I will start at 9:38, right? So those who are done, try this, but at 9:38 we'll try solving this ourselves. Okay. And those who are still doing this, just I'm copy pasting this. I think it is the same query that Shweta has pasted, so you can try this on your own and let me know when you are done with. Okay, so let us try this in a correlated subquery way. So anyone would want to tell me how we can approach this problem? ठीक है, ये तो normal subquery होगी, but in case of a correlated subquery, how we can do this? First of all, let us have a look at product table. Product name, unit price. ये तो चलो, it's just these two columns, but let us do select star from product, right? In the product table, we have the product ID, we have the product name, and we have a category ID here. So क्या करेंगे? First of all, we will create alias. दो कॉपी बनाएंगे प्रोडक्ट टेबल की, P1 and P2. For the select statement, to select product name and unit price, I will use the P1. ठीक है, I will use product P1 to select the product name and the unit price. Clear? Where unit price is greater than select average unit price. Now this average unit price I will select from products P2. ठीक है, now I have these two copies, P1 and P2. This is the exact same table, but I have created two copies, P1 and P2, and I will just here add a clause that where P2 dot category ID is equal to P1 dot category ID. What this will do कि जो P1 है that is the outer subquery, sorry outer query, and P2 that is the inner query, it will ensure that average unit price that we are calculating is having the same category ID as the category of the product that is there in the outer subquery. So जो product P1 से select होगा उसी कैटेगरी का हम लोग यहाँ पर एवरेज प्राइस कैलकुलेट करेंगे. And this is what we can run and get the thing. Now if I do a order by here, if I do a order by unit price descending, so you will see that average price of all the products was 28, मतलब 28 से छोटी कोई भी वैल्यू यहाँ पर नहीं आएगी. बट इन दिस scenario you will see that there are even 21 is there, 25 is there. Why? Because in this category the average price is less than 28, and here we were getting how many values? 25, and here we are getting 27, I think 27 values. Yes. So this is a correlated subquery. Just remember, create the copies and use the filter. जो filter है, जैसे अगर category wise filter है, so P2 और P1 equal to में category wise filter लगा दो. That is all there is in the correlated subquery. Now someone in the chat is asking, I think Shweta has shared. Can you write like this? Correlated only work on same